That's the last one really that you're going to see from Uranus to Saturn. Those are the last ones that are showing influences inwardly. Uranus, when it's to Neptune, or Uranus to Pluto, these are factors that everybody for a year or two will have. They're not personal factors, they're social, genetic, social, cultural factors. And they're fixed in, so everybody for a number of years has this. It's not so personal, and it's hard to see how vision affects excitement, how power and confrontations and reality checks affect excitement. But we've got to go there and look at it. We're trying to see Uranus to Neptune or Uranus to Pluto. So you can't expect it to be anything personal. Where it gets personal is in the houses they're in. You get the signs they're in, the houses are in, certain attitudes. But then it gets personal as they throw that energy to destabilize. All the other planets are destabilizing. So when that energy, if they're in a conjunction, square, opposition, these other planets, and they touch one of the personal planets, they both will. Well, then there's a double dose of instability and a very unique life because of it. Some people think, hey, throw all the disruptions at me. I just won't fit in anywhere. I'll just live in my own way. Leave me alone. That's great. But they may not have a stable marriage or home or job. It's hard to judge. Like when you're teaching it, I have to teach it that Saturn's the responsibility of Uranus, but people will live on Uranus. People live like in Neptune. People live in Pluto, and they go to these extremes. But they usually don't either have crowds of people following them and they're alone and they're controlling it, or nobody's following them and they're alone. But they still can accomplish very unique things. These are factors of destiny almost to live up to. So when Uranus is squared by Neptune, conjunct, squared, opposed by Neptune, the excitement is given a vision. This exciting vision. Wow. And I've got to do something different with it. So again, according to the signs of in, the planets will bias to the ruler of that sign. So sometimes I don't give Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto because you can't see them. I don't give them rulerships. They can't be dignified. They're just hidden energies that have an effect that you can see, that you can observe. So Neptune is going to enhance, idealize, it's going to fantasize, it's going to over-imagine whatever excitements are coming with Uranus. And Uranus is trying to be free, and Neptune's going to add, well, make sure you're free with these fantasies, with these dreams, with these causes, with these beliefs, with these raptures. The excitement of having rapture. Well, usually excitement is nerves. Excitement is not exactly rapture. But Neptune adds the vision and the belief in with it, and belief that I can do something different. This can be done individually. There has to be a way to change these things. And everybody for a couple of years around the planet will have that, and it'll work out differently in different countries, different places, different people. So you could say there's a more grandiose sense of freedom, of having an independent vision. There might be a greater a belief in independence, or in the lack of it, or in the cause of it. But there's this sort of high frequency energy that has to still come down through Saturn. It depends how long. You're going to have to be doubly prepared to remove confusion and deception as well as excitement. So when they're touching each other in the world, these are big historical timings. So like this past few years, we had Uranus and Pluto square, or was Neptune, who marked it in 89, 90, Uranus and Neptune were conjunct in Capricorn, the time of the indigo kids, but really also the beginning of the web and the changing of what was freedom. It changed tremendously. At the same time, Pluto was around that. Pluto came in. So looking historically at the outer planets, they're perfect historical dividers and generational factors that you can see. But it's really, without looking at a couple 100 years, it's hard to put perspective into the Neptune to Uranus. But both of them together, when each of them are making a square to something, they both gang up and put both factors on there. There could be conflicts between belief and freedom. When it's working best, someone would have a sense of picking up, fighting for a unique cause. People are dying in Africa, kids are being killed, women are being sold as slaves. There's so much poverty, and Neptune comes as a social consciousness, and they need to do something independent to change that. or at least to believe you can do something independent to change that. And then how that fits into your chart and how much you live up to that. If you just live up to that, what else are you going to accomplish? So these are very aloof things, and mostly you notice them, it's a generational factor, and it's somewhat ignored during Neptune to Uranus itself. You notice it's there, it's screaming, there it is, there's that aspect. There's nothing to say about it. The Neptune exaggerates and mystifies the Uranus excitement, and both of them are out and beyond the defensives of Saturn. So there's things going out there that are extreme things, great visions, great sorrows, great excitements, great beliefs, not much fixed practical stability. You might say, some kid might try marijuana and say, wow, this is so nice, how could this be wrong? This is exciting, you should be able to do this, this is so beautiful. That's like a Uranus-Neptune thing. Of course, it's taken many, many years for the laws, for the traditional laws to accept that. It's just happening now. If you go back to the 30s, it was alcohol. It was all illegal and everything, and finally it became more or less accepted, or rules came. Same thing. The prohibition encouraged criminality. When they got rid of it, it cut down the crime. People that have these things usually feel tied into the world in a big way, in some big thing. They want to solve some big thing, but that tends to justify why not to have to do the things that everyone else is doing here. Okay. When you come to Pluto, it's very different than Uranus and Neptune. Uranus, you know something's happening, but you don't know what it is. But with Pluto to Uranus, the excitement and freedom in Pluto is to control. You have the rebel empire, and you have the empire, as in the Empire Strikes Back in Star Wars, and you have the rebel base. And instead of fighting, they're right together. They're fighting each other there, but your sense of freedom and independence and excitement is being challenged against reality. Like if you think, I got a yacht, I want to go to Egypt, but while I'm going to Egypt, I want to drive down I want to go down the canal and maybe go to India. You know, you see, I have this nice dream. So you take the boat and you're going, and you have this beautiful boat, you're going down there, and you go past Ethiopia, or you go past you get going down there, and the pirates come out and kill y'all, or take the boat, and you didn't realize there were other forces in motion here. So there's a need to fight against the force. There's a need to see, there's a freedom to have to fight against the evil, to fight against the dark side of things, to fight against fear. At the same time, the fear is affecting your sense of freedom and independence. Would I dare do that? Would I do that? Like usually it comes up by necessity, comes up, and it forces you to take an independent stand. You know, so